Fabulous. Okay, so here's the official kickoff of the Climathon 2021. Thank you everybody for joining us. It's great to have you all here. We're really excited that you all wanted to come together to spend your free time to help look for changes around mitigating climate change on universities. We're really just so thrilled to have the French Embassy in Ireland as our supporter, as sponsor of this event. I'm gonna throw it over to Mark, who is right there next to me, of course, to say a few words about the French Embassy's involvement in this event.
Thank you, Kathleen, and thank you, Sophie. Yeah, you are both very top. So we're very pleased to see this this Climathon happening. I'm going to be quick because I don't want to spoil the evening by talking. But I just want to say that climate and youth are two very important subjects at the French Embassy. And we really like this subject because also due to the Paris Agreement that is working for us, and that was a very big achievement. So I just want to let you work hard and to discover new ideas and new things that you will do. And you will have two chances to present. The first one will be at the end of the month. You will present in front of the jury what you have done. And the winner will have a chance to present in front of ministers and other high personalities at the end of May. So that's so I think that's both very exciting perspective for your thought. And I know I thank you, and I will let you work.
Great, thank you, Mark. Bravo. This is my least favorite part about virtual is we don't clap. So everybody, if you don't have your sound on, just, yeah, there we go. Good. Okay. My background's in performing arts, so people not clapping is like very stressful. All right. So thank you, Mark. And thank you again to everyone at the French Embassy for supporting us here. So today we're going to, and I should totally forgot to introduce myself. I'm Caitlin. I'm the one who's been emailing you kind of ad nauseum for the last few weeks with details about what we're doing and lots of links. And this is, well, she's right next to me on my screen, so I assume she's next to me on y'all's. This is Sophie. She's the other half of What the Hack. So together we are What the Hack, and we put on problem-solving events for a variety, kind of whatever problem somebody wants to look at. We really focus on giving guys the tools to solve problems so that even if maybe after this month you're like, yeah, you know, maybe climate change is too much for me, but I see this problem in my community, now you have the tools to go out and solve it and change the world, start that kind of domino effect of making change that you want to see. Because everybody can make change, just need the tools and the drive to do it, and you all are here, you have the drive, and so we're here to help you get the tools. So this is week one, which I hope you know that, and we're going to talk about problem statement research today. So that's kind of the focus of this week. That's what you're going to be kind of have homework for. I don't want to call it homework, but I haven't thought of a better word before last week.
Research, it sounds like a master degree.
Oops, somebody's on. All right, so little agenda for today, or for this this workshop. So we're going to kind of just go over really quickly what the structure is, what you can expect throughout the next few weeks through the end of the month. We're going to do a little team building icebreaker so that you can, if you don't already know your team, you can meet the team. And if you do already know your team, then we can meet you. And I'll explain what that's going to be. David Scanlon, who he popped up a second ago. Everybody moved. There he is. Cool. There you go. David's going to talk to us about a little bit around research, problem statements, and then I will give you your kind of tools and tasks for the rest of the week about digging into the problem statement that you see, excuse me, and that you want to focus on for the rest of the month. And we'll talk about kind of what you need to do for the rest of the week. And I realize as well, sorry, I always do this. I skip introducing people. So I assume that everyone who knows each other in my mind knows each other in reality. So for all of the folks here who are judges or mentors or speakers for the rest of the event, do you want to just put the little hand up thing so everybody can kind of see like, aha, this is somebody I should. Yeah, there's everybody. So if you guys want to each just throw your mic on for a second, say, hello, this is me, and I am a mentor, judge, speaker, or combination thereof, just so everybody knows kind of who they're looking for the rest of the month, since we don't always get to see each other in person as we would normally. David, let's start with you. You're top left on my screen. So
yeah, okay. Evening, everybody. I'm going to do a more fulsome introduction to myself and my background, I guess, when I talk you through the workshop. But I am delivering a workshop today talking about why I love problems, which is kind of weird, but I do. And I'm going to be back at the end of the month as well, judging at the final weekend. So yeah, wearing a couple of hats. I'm really excited to see all the wonderful challenges that you guys are going to be addressing.
thanks. So hint, go stalk him on LinkedIn before the end of the month. Who do we have next? Eamon, are you up next? There you are.
Hi there. I'm Eamon. I'm a mentor. I'm looking forward to the week. Excited for what everybody's got. I've got 20 years of experience in media and tech, and currently working on sustainability initiatives in e-commerce. Obviously this is the topic of our generation in every regard, in every industry. So anytime you can get a lot of smart people gathered together, working on some problem solving, I'm all for it, and I'm excited to see what comes out of the week. So thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming. And Lorraine, saying all
Hi,
your names, then you're going to
everybody.
introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah. It's really, really lovely to be here this evening and to see students across the country engaging. I work at NUI Galway, and I run our volunteering program, and I coordinate with colleagues across the country, studentvolunteer.ie. So we're just really passionate about students engaging in their community and being involved and getting to get to the root issue. What is the root issue? So very motivated about supporting students as a mentor throughout this process. If anybody has any questions or issues, I'll pop my email in there. And just seeing the breadth of students across the whole country, really making change for the campus. So delighted to be here.
Thanks. I'm happy to have you. We had one more. And every time somebody changes their thing, everybody moves and I lose everyone. Who else is here? Did I get all the judges? No, I had one more. Not everybody. Okay. Okay.
There's Natalie there.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Hi, everybody. My name is Natalie Pavone. So I'm thrilled to be a mentor on this hackathon. I'm really excited. I'm the digital marketing manager for an organization called Business in the Community Ireland, who are the leading advisors on sustainability. So I have about 10 years experience on helping companies on communicate sustainability. So hopefully I'll be able to share with you what I know and help you on this hackathon. So thanks a million.
Okay, thanks. There. All right, so now you guys have a few faces that you'll see popping up again later. And we have a few more mentors also who just couldn't be here tonight. So let's get on with it. So now you've met our team. It's time for you guys to meet your own teams if you don't know them already. And for us, like I said, to meet you. So you have a little task. Oops, sorry, I skipped over. What's the workshop look like? So pretty straightforward. Each Monday, we're going to have a meeting like this for about an hour and a half. We'll talk about your task for the week, what you've gotten done the week before, and what you the tools that you have for the week ahead. During in between those two Mondays or that week, you'll be working on the task that your team has decided that you need to complete. We're not going to give you specific tasks to do. That's up to you guys to delegate kind of who you want to do what. But you are expected to complete the work throughout the week so that at the end of the month, you have a completed product that is well-researched and supported and validated, et cetera. And you have a beautiful pitch and a prototype to show. During sometime within the week, you're going to have a stand-up with your mentor. This is probably going to be at least twice throughout, so you might not have one every week. So you're going to have about a 30-minute meeting where you can share what you've worked on, your findings, and they can, as we tell them to, gently poke holes in the research or the work that you've done, so that then think of it as like when you break a bone, the spot that heals is stronger than the rest of it. So think of it as they're gonna poke lots and lots of little holes in your idea so that it's stronger than it was when you first talked to them. So they're very nice, all of them. And I usually have to push people to be meaner. So don't be afraid. They're very nice. And they're all very smart. So listen to what they say. Now we get to meet your team. So you have a little team building exercise. Oh no, hold on, back up, back up. There we go. Okay, so you're gonna meet your team. You have about 10 minutes and I will tell you when to go and I will set a timer. So we're staying on schedule. So you're gonna go into your team voice channel on your Discord. And you're gonna introduce yourselves to each other. If you don't already know each other, you're gonna select a mascot. Going to talk about who kind of wants to do what. So if you have somebody who's more a research background or a science background, maybe they're better suited to doing the research side. If you have somebody with a tech background, they might be more suited towards doing a prototype or working on development. If you have somebody who just really likes to make spreadsheets and to-do lists, they might be your kind of project manager. So you can talk amongst yourselves. Hold on, we're back, okay. I can't say the name because then she'll turn back on again. The woman who lives on my computer today has decided to be very involved with everything I do. And I don't know what it is I keep saying, but she keeps turning on. So if I disappear occasionally, that's why. So you're gonna kind of establish who's gonna be working on what during the workshop so that you know ahead of time, okay, if this is what we're doing, this is who's gonna work on it. And you can just plow right ahead. You don't have that time to kind of shuffle around and figure out who's doing what. So you're gonna have 10 minutes during this time. Also, part of why I went to in your group channels is that because as the owner of the server, I have the power to drag and drop people to wherever I want them. So if we have some teams that are a bit light on people, I may drag you into a new team and just drop you there and you will have, you'll have a team there. If you just joined the server, there she is again. If you just joined the server today or like right before this, I haven't gotten time to assign you a team. So if you're not able to see any team channel in your channel list over there, then that's why, and I'll give you a team and you'll have a team channel. You'll have access to one. So I'm gonna stop sharing so I can see the Discord. All right, so you're gonna jump right now. I would say just put this Zoom on video and microphone mute and just leave it open, then you can pop right back in. So it's super easy. Click into the voice channel on your Discord and talk amongst yourselves, introduce yourselves, pick a team mascot, kind of decide loosely who's doing what. Once you have your mascot, put a picture of it up into the general chat so we all get to see it. You have 10 minutes. I'm setting a timer. Ready, set, go. I can go check on them.
Caitlin? I was put into the group 1, but I think that it's already been like an assigned group. So I was wondering if I could go with, because I actually know one person here, Liz Hunt. So if we could go together, that would be great.
Yeah, do you know what team she's on?
I don't think she's been assigned one already.
Okay, let me see. Let me look around and see what team needs some more people.
I have to apologize. I don't know where I'm going. I'm still sitting here. Mary Handley. Mary, let me put on my screen.
Okay.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Lorraine. Listen, I'm really sorry.
No, you're perfect.
I thought it would be automatic.
Yeah, don't worry. So maybe what we'll do is, I think, was it Orla that had the first query? We'll let Orla's query get sorted. Yeah, hi, Orla.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Oh, you're perfect. And then Mary.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so for the hackathon or the Climathon.
Hi, Lorraine.
Hi, Orla.
I'm not sure if I'm in any group right now.
But there are some people who, okay, Orla, I've just added you to team 2, and then tell me again really quick who
Liz
the
Hunt.
other.
Liz Hunt
Sorry?
was the other girl. Her name is Liz Hunt.
Liz Hunt. Okay.
Maybe Elizabeth, I'm not sure. Thank you.
I'll add you too. And then I'm probably going to drop a few more people in. It doesn't look like she's joined yet. She hasn't joined the server yet. So
Okay.
have her, when she does join, let her know that she's going to be on team 2. And you can jump into, so one of the other members for team 2 is in the voice channel. You can jump in there now and
Perfect.
start chatting. And I'll come and chat.
Is there a link to the Discord channel?
Yep, 1 second. I just added it in the chat there.
Sorry, Caitlin, did you want me to join a specific group?
No, you can hang out. They haven't done any research yet, so they don't have anything to show you yet. So, but if you want to hang out, you can. If not, then
So Bertha, you had a query. How did you get on there?
Oh no, I haven't been assigned to a group. Am I supposed to be assigned to a group?
yeah, we will. So I'm just sorting out what teams need more people. So Bertha, I'm going to add you to team 2. Oh, there's Elizabeth.
All right.
Elizabeth is now in team 2.
Thank you.
And then I'm kind of conscious of Mary there, and I suppose, you know, don't worry, Mary. I know that, you know, getting involved in something new, there might be new technology that maybe we're not familiar with. So Discord could be really new to lots of people here on the call, Caitlin. So, you know, there might be a teasing or kind of a period of adjustment to.
No problem. No, we know. Discord is really similar to, so say like if you've ever used Teams, like Microsoft Teams,
Yes.
it's really similar. So if you have ever seen, once you get into it, it looks very similar to say a Microsoft Teams. And so right now I'm just moving people around into new groups so that we have kind of the same number of people in each group. So sorry that I'm looking at my screen as well. 5.
Mary, would you be able to reply in the Zoom chat to me? I'm having a chat with you there, Mary.
Just bear with me. Sorry, maybe we can turn the Zoom sound off. Yeah. And I can't, but I did hit the link. I did actually hit the link, https discord. But there was no in there. There was nothing in there.
When did you try it? Was it a while ago?
Yeah, before I came back. Yes, can you hear me? Okay, when I go in here, it says invited you to join, surname. Oh, so username. I had to put that in. Is that correct? Okay, and continue. Okay. Okay, sorry. Then it was me. I beg your pardon.
I'm fine. It's like everybody.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I've told it
worries.
I'm human.
Exactly.
Okay.
I've been doing battle, as I said earlier, with she who shall not be named, who lives on my computer. So.
Okay, I did this the other day. Why am I having to do it again? It's looking for my date of birth and all that. Yeah, is that normal?
It'll just make you a new. What's it called? A new account. But it's fine.
Okay, because the other day with the link, right? So obviously an email. Oh God, I'm so sorry for this.
before. Do you want us to make you co-host? And so you can share your screen if you're struggling.
No, I'm handing over to.
Okay, let's see. This is also why we have this nice time.
Okay.
This is good. Team 7, cracking on. Team 8. I'm gonna add to team 7.
Mary, I'm here in the Zoom chat if you have any technical questions.
Yeah, I really am sorry for this.
No, you're perfect.
Oh, you're fine, don't worry. I'd much rather you did this now where we can be like, try this, than like you sat by yourself and were lost and sad.
I think I'm going to have to go back into Zoom because I done the email request during the week, but evidently it hasn't worked.
Hi, Laurie.
Okay, I'm going back to.
Yeah, hi, Lauren. So I didn't have any group out here, and I tried doing the Discord thing.
So I just
anyone out there, and I saw one person like Eman and Eman Donlin, I guess.
I've just added people. I wanted to see what teams we had. We needed more people in. So I've just added some people to team. Oh no, what team did I put them in? Team 8, I believe. No, team 9. I've just added a few people to team 9.
Okay, mine is team 9
and team 10. And so if you look in your Discord, then it should pop up right there on your sidebar, and you'll have access to those team channels now. But
sorry, where 3 of them, Goliath and Amandawn.
Pardon?
I've got three people in my team, including me.
Yep. So click into the voice channel. So if you scroll down, there's one with a little mic or a little speaker sign next to it. So that's your voice channel. And
okay, I'll do that.
Thank you so much. And chat with them. No problem.
Sorry, where am I supposed to go when I'm joining my group? My group is 2.
You can join them now.
How do I join?
So in the Discord, on the side to the left there will be a list of the channels. So you should have a general channel, your team text channel. It has like a hashtag next to it, and your team voice channel. It has the little speaker sign next to it. So those are your ones. They'll be on the left side of the screen there. Yeah, there you go. Sophie's got it up for you.
Oh, I can't see that.
Try refreshing it because I just added it, and if I haven't gotten down to yours yet.
Am I supposed to use a link or something?
There's the link there in the chat of the Zoom. Okay. You can hit that and it'll take it.
All right. Just doing that now.
Perfect. We'll get everybody there, don't worry. And then we'll get everybody back in. Almost got everybody in. Nine. Team 2, I'm sending you one more person. You guys can hear me. And 9. I like it. Yeah, I like it. Okay, all right, so everybody. Hey, Roberta, see you now. Let's have you with team 2. I think you need to pick one more. All right, if we get everybody back, just a couple of people I moved around. Team 1, you guys are massive. All right, so we have pretty much everybody back. Let's see. All right. I think we have everyone back. If not, we'll give them one more minute. Staying on time, not going over. I always complain about other people's webinars going long, and then I go long myself, so trying to not. All right, so does everybody who is back here now have a team? You should have access on the side panel there. If after we're done here, if you came in with a team, specifically that Anywhere Galway team, then let me know. There were a few people that joined late and so just didn't get onto the list. And then I can rearrange if needed. So I think we have everybody on a team now. I have people color coded, so you're all green, and I think you all have a team. All right, so let's kick back into gear. I'm going to hand it over to David. He's going to talk about his love of problems and how much we should all love them. David, you should be able to share. I think I set that correctly. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, I'll share this in 2 seconds. Is my sound okay, Caitlin?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, can you see the screen? Not sure, you can. Okay, awesome. Thumbs are up. Okay, cool. So guys, first up, I guess I would like to express my admiration for everybody who's still here on the call. This is obviously a fantastic initiative, and for anybody who's interested, after an entire year of lockdown, to join a Zoom call on a Monday evening to solve problems around climate change and sustainability, you must have tremendous energy, and I really have to acknowledge that and admire what you're doing. So congratulations, and to Caitlin and the What the Hack team. That was some pretty good organized chaos there. Fair play. That was that was some pretty good spontaneous team formation on multiple technology platforms. So that's pretty good. So it's well aligned what Caitlin has asked me to do. I genuinely do love talking about problems, talking about particularly interesting people who are solving problems. and particularly from the lens of startup investment and thinking about innovation. And I'll explain why startup and problem solving makes sense. Given that you're focused on sustainability challenges, why the lessons learned from thinking about problems the way a startup does can be very beneficial to what you're setting out to do. I suppose the caveat here, the rider on the fact that I love problems is I love problems and hearing about the problems you're working on, as long as you're bringing some insights. If you're not bringing insights into the problem you're trying to solve, then you're just whinging. And there's a massive difference between whinging and talking insightfully about problems. I'm going to get into some of that. Just a very quick bio on me. I have spent the entirety of my career in the technology, innovation, and solving problems at scale space. And I suppose from a couple of different backgrounds, so I was going to talk about them very, very quickly. And this is the startup and the investment background. So I was 11 years at Enterprise Ireland, the Irish Trade Development Agency, working with startups, SMEs, helping them to scale into new markets using the digital channels at the time, which was quite new. I then spent the past 5 years, so up until about December of last year, working at NDRC. Some of you might be familiar. Actually bumped into Mark there. It's a small world. Good evening, Mark. NDRC is an investing accelerator. They write small checks to lots and lots of entrepreneurs every year, probably in around 2.5 to 3.5 million euros into early stage entrepreneurs trying to solve big problems at scale. And our job there was to help those entrepreneurs figure out whether or not the problem that they were trying to solve was worth solving to somebody, and then helping them raise more money to go and do that. So probably invested in about 100 companies over the 4 or 5 years. But I think probably more importantly, I said no to about 1,500 over those 5 years. So I've seen a lot of people pitching me shitty problems that they're working on and even worse solutions. And it taught me an awful lot about why you would bother working on a problem and whether or not your precious resources, either your time or in the instance of NDRC, my money, was worth putting towards the problem that you wanted to solve. And then I also ran a sort of like an entrepreneur and startup community focused event series called Startup Grind Dublin. I was the chapter director for 4 years, and we ran these monthly fireside chat events with interesting entrepreneurs and investors. And we ran 46 events in 48 months, and we built a community of about 5,500 people. So again, a lot of experience of working with very early stage entrepreneurs and interesting people solving interesting problems. So just to finish that off, I'm now with when I left NDRC in December, I launched an innovation consultancy with 3 of my colleagues who came out of NDRC as well. We describe ourselves as the future of department of future value. So we're interested in understanding the problems that multinationals, research performing organizations like the universities, universities in Dublin and around the country, and scaling tech companies are trying to solve. So we're bringing an investor's perspective to interesting scaling technology challenges. That's me. And I guess why I think a startup is interesting. A startup is an interesting way to think about problem solving, because the way I think about it is a startup is a group of resources, a bit of cash, a bit of time, never enough of the first two, and some people with enthusiasm to figure out whether or not a problem should be solved, and the most efficient way of figuring out, of solving that problem. And it's a machine. It's a way that you identify the assumptions that you bring into this problem solving mode. You think about the risks of how you're going about solving it, what risks your assumptions will create. And then you think about how can you create interesting and efficient experiments. And the focus of it is always be learning. And when we think about experiments in the startup space, you're probably familiar with the phrase minimum viable product. And people forget that what you're trying to do, quite often people can forget that what you're trying to do there is understand what is the most you can learn about your problem that you're trying to solve, or your customer, or potentially your competitors in some cases as well. What's the most that you can learn for the minimum effort that you can put in? Because you've got to try and learn as much as you can about your problem before you run out of resources. That's it. I mean, like your competitors in many cases just have to sit and wait for you to explode, right? You'll probably run out of runway and not figure out a quick way, an efficient way to solve the problem before that they run out of cash. And it goes back to my earlier point, and the goal of this is to try and figure out something that nobody else knows. As an early stage investor, when I was talking to those, 1,500, 1,600 entrepreneurs, I was looking for somebody to surprise me. I was looking for somebody to tell me something I didn't know about an industry or a particular type of customer or a particular piece of technology. Because the chances are, if you know something that somebody else doesn't know in this day and age, it's probably valuable to somebody. And the idea then is, can you figure out quickly who it's of value to, and can you solve a problem for them and make some money out of it, or make enough money out of it to continue solving the problem? Because obviously, the challenges that you're working on aren't always going to necessarily lead you down the path of trying to earn billions of dollars, but who knows? And this is really, really hard. Counterintuitive insights are really, really hard because of the first point, which is all the assumptions and biases that everybody brings in. We assume we understand what problems look like. We assume, and this is the fatal piece, we assume we understand what the solution already needs to look like before we go and really understand the problem. And I'm sure Caitlin and Sophie are going to take you through this extensively over the next week. But trying to drop what you assume the solution has to be before you understand the problem is one of the big challenges you're going to face. But this is really important, and it goes back to the first point as well, which is this always be learning, because you are going to experience change as people solving this problem every single time you go and talk to more customers. Their needs will change, your understanding of the problem will change, competitors will come onto the market, technology, everything in the market, all these market forces are going to make you change. And you're going to have to keep on coming back to this understanding the assumptions, the risks, and do a little experiments to continue really fully understanding the problem space, because you will not turn out the way that you expect you will. What's the Holy Grail? Well, for an early stage investor, it was a repeatable, scalable, defensible business model. So can you continue to do this for enough people and scale it in such a way to create value, and do it in a way that means that your competitors won't come in and eat your lunch? And that's just, it's really, really hard. And most people get it completely wrong. Just as a side note, a startup is not a lifestyle. And this is possibly one of the reasons that I said no to an awful lot of founders over the 5 years at NDRC, is because you get inundated with entrepreneurs, people who believe that there is glamour in calling themselves a CEO or a founder. But really didn't love the problem, love the lifestyle. It's not a business until you've got customers, and you don't really call yourself a founder or an entrepreneur unless you're really meaningfully solving a problem. So just going to move on to understanding the risks, and trying to highlight here as well why problem is so important. It is foundational to the things that can kill you as a startup, because they're the things you've got to be aware of over the next couple of weeks. What's going to kill me? And problem, and if you think about these three sort of tiers here within, this is a hierarchy, I guess. If you try and solve for one of the risks in market or in solution before you fully have mitigated the risks in the problem space, then problem will come back and kill you anyway. And I suppose a good example of this is people, as I said, is people who have a deep set assumption about what the solution is going to look like. And they go and they build that, and they build the MVP and say, well, I'm going to launch the MVP into the market, and I'll test whether or not my customers want it or not. And if you don't understand the problem that you're trying to solve in the first place, your MVP of solution isn't going to help you understand whether or not your customers really have a problem, or if the problem is meaningful enough for them to be solved. I'm going to give you an example of this in a sort of like a worked example, okay? So one of the teams that I worked with, so when I was with NDRC, I ran three accelerator programs in the Middle East, in Muscat. And this is the product of one of the teams that we invested in down there. So it was a company called With You, and it was delivering counseling and therapy sessions to people in the Middle Eastern region. And we invested in this wonderful founder. Her name was Zainab Al-Haiki. And what Zainab wanted to do was build an online interactive video chat product that would allow therapists directly talk to their clients that they were working for. And her idea was that she needed to build this video client because actually, internet penetration is pretty patchy in some parts of the Middle East. And she was concerned about people's quality broadband. So you couldn't just use FaceTime and other sort of available video tools. She wanted to build this video interactive tool that would be able to manage the fact that there was very patchy broadband in lots of places in these rural parts of the Middle East, but people still needed to get their counseling services. And she also wanted to make sure that you could pay for things in the system, right? So it had to have video, it had to make sure that the low latency and broadband problem wasn't going to be an issue, and that you could pay your therapist directly through the system. And we invested 50,000, and she's like, cool, I'm gonna take the $50,000 and I'm gonna build a product, and it's gonna go and it's gonna test all those things. And we're like, whoa, calm the fuck down. That's probably not going to help, because building a product like that is just going to prove the solution risk, right? What you're talking about there is, can the prototype deliver the feature that I want to actually deliver, right? And always the answer is going to be yes, right? A product can always be built. The technologist will always say yes to your needs. Can you build a solution for me? Hell yeah. Just going to keep on sending you bills. But I'll definitely build it for you. So we worked with Zainab and we said, look, let's try and dig in here and really understand what's the problem. What is it that you're trying to solve? And it turned out what was wrong in many parts of the Middle East for these counselors was twofold. There wasn't a lot of trust in the market for counselors. In many parts of the Middle East, and this is true up until the last couple of years, you tend to go to the religious leader in your community if you're having if you're feeling anxious, or if you have maybe relationship issues or family problems. There's a huge amount of distrust for people who consider themselves to be therapists. And there's also a huge amount of stigma around mental health in certain Middle Eastern communities. So what people actually wanted was two things. They wanted a directory service. They wanted to be able to find a trusted and validated counselor. And they also they wanted to be matched in a smart way with that counselor. So they wanted a counselor who could deal with parenting challenges for teenage kids. They wanted something to do with I don't know, like any amount of different discrete issues within the mental health space, but they wanted to be matched. They didn't want to have to waste their time. They wanted somebody who was qualified and experienced. And the second thing that they wanted is they wanted a discrete service. They didn't want it to be very obvious that they were talking to their counselor. They didn't want to be having to hide their phone, and they didn't want to be hiding their emails and these things. So what Zainab actually ended up building was a WhatsApp group. And what she was doing was sending out ads on Instagram to people saying, are you interested in counseling services? And they would send a message to a WhatsApp. And then she had a group of WhatsApp, she had another WhatsApp group, a little pool of counselors in different countries all around the Middle East. And she matched people and they called each other. Isn't that crazy? What they actually wanted to do was talk to people discreetly who weren't in their community, who had been expertly matched to them. They didn't give a shit about the quality of the video feed. If Zainab had built her beautiful bells and whistles product at the very start, she would have learned nothing except that she owed her developers a lot of money, because her customers wouldn't have used it and she wouldn't have understood why. She might have thought, well, maybe it's got the wrong features. Is it the user interface? Do they not like this particular color blue on the buttons? Maybe that's the problem, but it's not. It's not until you actually dig down and you understand what it is that your customers or your potential customers really need help with and will really value, that then you can build your solution that you need. So what is it that we are trying to learn? When we understand what we're trying to learn, then we go on and we fix it. So this might seem a bit overwhelming. How the fuck do we dig in and understand all of the various nuances and pieces of what a problem could look like and how people experience it? And it is a challenge. There is no doubt about it. Digging in and asking stupid questions to get to the root cause of a problem, you are going to sound like a 3-year-old over the next 4 weeks. But why? But why? Why do you do that? So getting to the root cause of a problem and understanding what it means to that person is a real challenge, but it's very rewarding, because to go back to the very start, hopefully what you're getting to is an insight that nobody else has, that is going to surprise somebody at the end of the day. Okay, so this is just one tool. I'm not sure whether or not Caitlin and Sophie will be using something like this. This is something, Caitlin's smiling, so hopefully something like this is going to appear in your inboxes over the next couple of days. This is the problem statement canvas. We use this extensively at NDRC with our founders, and it might seem fun, like foundational, like, you know, problem 101, but it really forces you to ask questions about what it is you truly understand about customers and their problems. And what I will encourage you to do is to read about as much of this guy's material as you can over the coming days. So this is a guy called Clayton Christensen. He wrote some very interesting books, and he created a theory called jobs to be done. If you Google it, or if you go onto YouTube and you Google or search for Clayton Christensen milkshake, there's a really interesting 15-20 minute case study that talks about why understanding the job that somebody wants to actually achieve will make you think in a very different way about your problem and your solution. So that lens of the job that somebody is trying to do, if you bear that in mind as you go through the problem statement canvas. So Clayton's, you know, his statement here, if you understand the job, how to improve it becomes obvious. If you don't understand the job, how the hell can you learn about whether or not your solution has actually made a difference? So the only thing, again, to go back to Zainab, if Zainab actually managed to get a customer, she wouldn't know how well she had impacted on that customer's ability to do anything. She didn't understand what it was they wanted to do. The only thing you will learn if somebody downloads your product or uses your solution is that they have it. That's it. They don't know anything. You don't know anything else about their life. You don't know what's different about their problem experience, the environment that they're in. You just know that they've used you. So fucking what? So, starting to wrap up, this is all about setting yourself up for success. This is all about understanding your intentions from the start. I hope the GIF on the left is making people feel uncomfortable. I'm squirming as I'm sitting here watching it, so it's actually kind of hard to talk over this. But if you don't have a firm footing before you start off on this, you're going to fail. And worse, you mightn't even understand how close you got to being successful, okay? So what we're looking for within this, and I use this phrase, delusional founders needing delusional customers. You're all wonderful people here this evening, but you're all slightly delusional. And I mean that in a very positive sense, because you believe that you can reshape how the future is going to be otherwise. You're going to put resources into an intervention that is going to change the world. And that's wonderfully delusional. And I admire that. What you need is a delusional customer. You need a customer or somebody who's experiencing a problem. I use customer, and people kind of make that association with, spending money may not necessarily always be the solution that you end up in, but you need somebody experiencing a problem who is experiencing the problem so badly that they would even use your solution. And you're doing this the sum total of about 2 hours now at this stage. And by the time you get to the end of the hackathon, you'll be at it about a month. If you can find somebody who's willing to take you for a test run and say, yes, I would like you to solve this problem, it is absolutely insane. Then you get the OMFG, oh my fucking God response. And that's something remarkable. And I would be aiming to spend my time looking for that remarkable outcome rather than 1,000 people going, well, it's nice, and oh, you're an entrepreneur doing sustainability stuff. That's so lovely. How lovely for you. Right? I don't, do you want that? Is that the outcome you want for all of this effort that you're going in? Or do you want somebody to say, shit, I've been trying to figure this out for years and I couldn't do it myself for these reasons. There's that counterintuitive piece in there. It's like, really, you've really been trying to solve this? Okay, cool. So I think we'll let this poor girl move on. And this is a nice timely follow on from that. And again, it's just coming back to the fact that most startup endeavors, most innovation endeavors at the early stage are doomed for failure. And the single largest cause of startup death is the lack of customers. Now that might seem really, really obvious, but I guess, you know, I make mention of that because I want to highlight the fact of what it's not. The single largest cause of startup death is not your product failing, okay? You should be able to find a delusional customer who is willing to accept your shitty solution and still use it and say, please, can you fix all of these things? You know, this isn't working for me, but I'm still going to use it because I so desperately need it and nobody else is helping me, okay? If you find that customer, you've got what we would call problem solution fit, okay? And then you got to figure out, you know, there's loads of things you got to figure out from there, whether you can do this economically at scale and blah, 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 blah. But that's a really good first step, okay? And you will die. Actually, worse than dying is being somebody like this, right? So a clean death ending up here is so much better than turning into a zombie. And a zombie is somebody who almost gets it right from the start. They kind of understand the problem. They kind of think that the solution is valuable to somebody. And they've got lots of customers saying, meh, it's not bad. And you're almost not dying on a continual basis, right? And that's terrible, okay? So you want to avoid that. So my two final thoughts that I'll leave you with. An obsession with the solution and trying to shove the solution that you know to be the right one into the marketplace will kill you. Okay, that is, you know, that's the Sisyphean sort of, like, you know, approach to things. I'm just going to keep on pushing this ball up this hill, and somebody eventually will say, God, that's a nice looking ball, and they'll want to use it, right? But trying to shove your solution into the marketplace is not going to be the winning pathway for you. Okay, so what we have, my experience in investing in early stage entrepreneurs is that the best founders are the ones who just obsess with exploring the problem. And when I say obsess with exploring the problem, it's about going deep and deep and deep. And when you feel you're uncomfortably deep and you've only got like 2 people who actually share the same problem, and you're like, wow, this is deep. You know, can I build a business? Can I build a solution for just 2 people? That's about right. That feels like it's about right for me. You know, you really understand their problems at that point there. And what you're trying to do then is figure out, well, can I deliver a solution to these people so that we actually deliver some value? And then you start thinking about your solution. Can we do this in different ways? Can we deliver this at scale and change it a little bit so we get the users who, or the customers who are just a little bit to the side of where our deep niche delusional customers are? And it's uncomfortable. And you're going to ask a lot of stupid questions. And what you're trying to do is come up with smart experiments to figure out, is this real? Are they blowing smoke up my ass, or does this person actually have this problem and can I fix it for them? And that's me. I threw in the French ending just because obviously we're being sponsored by Mark and the lovely people at the embassy. So look, I guess I know I've probably thrown a lot of stuff in there, but I cannot overemphasize how important it is to get your understanding of the problem right. Don't be that girl on the diving board. Get your intention right from the start, get a firm footing, and then jump off. And best of luck to you all. And I will be judging the heck out of you in a couple of weeks too. So yeah, I'll remember.
Great, thank you so much, David. And yeah, to keep in mind for all of the teams, your understanding of your problem statement, your research, and your validation are 3 topics in your or 3 categories in your judging criteria there. So it's not all about having a fancy pitch on the last day. You have to do your research ahead of time. So cool. Thank you so much, David.
Pleasure, Caitlin.
If people have questions or they want to reach out to you, where could they find you other than in the lovely Discord server?
Yeah, so if anybody wants to hit me on Discord or drop a quick note into chat now, I'd be happy to connect one-to-one. I'm on Twitter and LinkedIn, and that's probably, Twitter is probably the easiest way to get me. But yeah, I'm open to all the channels. I'm going to stay until the end of the call anyway. So if anybody's got any questions, feel free to shout.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right, everybody, we're almost to the end. You've almost made it through. I'm sure your brains are starting to like drip now. So we're gonna I'm gonna try to go slowly because I tend to get excited and then go really fast. Go through some of the tools and the tasks you're gonna have for the rest of the week. So David, I'm gonna switch screens with you there. Hold on, let me rearrange you all so I can see what I'm saying. Fabulous. All right, let's get back to where we were. Okay, so we're going to talk a bit about research, the tools that you have to do that research and kind of what you want to be able to get out of it. So like David was saying, you don't end up with all of us watching you flop off of a high dive. So this is the definition of research from the Oxford Dictionary: a systematic investigation into and study of materials and sources in order to establish facts and reach new conclusions. So those are the two aspects of it that I really want you guys to focus on and kind of take to heart for this week, this idea of establishing facts. What is it that you can quantifiably say, this is true, this is something that we can base a product around, or this is, here is for sure the problem, here is for sure kind of the source of the problem that we can focus on, and how to reach new conclusions, how to get to that revelation moment, that light bulb moment where you say, oh, wow, because I understand, I've established my facts about my problems so well, I can have this solution, I can have this epiphany idea of how to solve it that nobody else has had before. Oops. There we go. So first off, the way I want you guys to think about it, or the way we like to teach going through it, kind of think about, okay, what should the process be? Like, where are you trying to get to? If you're, if you have somebody here and they're trying to get over there, what would the ideal be? What is it that you're trying to achieve? Ideally, in the perfect world, that pathway would look something like this road. You can see exactly where it's going. There's a little bit of a jag in there to go around the bottom of the mountain, but I know exactly if I'm here and I need to get over there, I'm going to take that road and I'm going to get there and it's going to be fine. And I want you guys to start to lay out that idea of, this is where we are, this is where we want to be, and this ideally is how we would go about it. Starting to say, this is what we think this is what we think the process is. And try and get as detailed in there as possible. So really understanding the process that you go through and getting from point A to point B and whatever it is that you've identified as your problem statement. Really sitting down, really thinking about it. So all of these templates that I have here, that you're going to see them throughout the month, are on Miro, and I'm going to drop into your, into your team channels all of the links for them and the names of them. Miro is completely free. It's an online whiteboarding, and I highly, highly recommend each team make an account and put all your stuff together there. It's just a nice way to keep all of your ideas and your kind of process together. So this is one of those templates. I believe it's called the process. I think it's a process mapping one. I'll give you guys all of the links. Don't worry. So again, using one of those templates, or if you want to just throw sticky notes onto a virtual board, laying out what you think that process should be. And then start to look into, what is that process actually? More likely, because we're here and it's a problem that you're looking at and that somebody is trying to solve, it's going to look more like this. Who knows how you get anywhere trying to get from point A to point B on this madness? Who knows? It stresses me out to look at it. So thinking about, okay, why is it that our pathway is not a straight line? What's gotten in the way? What is it that's causing all of these issues? And are we getting distracted by these sort of symptom issues from whatever our root cause is? So by understanding what you want the process to be and what the process actually looks like, you can start to see these things are symptoms, but this is the root cause. And so I want you to lay out, what is the process actually? In the same way that you're laying out that ideal workflow or that ideal process, look at what is it actually? What are people actually having to do? If I'm trying to get from point A to point B, I can't just appear there. We haven't yet figured out how to teleport from one place to the other. I have to walk to the bus stop. I have to get on the bus. I have to go back and get my mask. I have et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What are all the little steps in there? So you can really figure out what is the actual cause of the problem. And then I want you to think about what are the stakeholders. So not just thinking about who are the customers in this, who is it that you're going to pay, or who is it that is going to pay you, or who is it that is going to be putting the money or be putting the backing behind it, in that sense of stakeholders, but who are all of the people who are going to be affected or impacted by your decision or by your product, by your solution. You're going to impact the person who is trying to get from point A to point B, but you also want to make sure that you're positively impacting all of the kind of tangential people. So again, if we're thinking about, I'm trying to get from my house to Sophie's house, I could do that in my very loud, very polluting car, which is going to be great for me. Super fast, it's comfortable, it's warm. I don't have to wear a mask inside of it. It's great, it's fabulous, but probably not the best for the nice quiet neighborhood that I'm going to drive through with my big loud engine, or for the environment around me, or for anybody else. So making sure that when you're creating a solution, you're thinking about all of the people involved, the producers, the people receiving it, everyone along that line that could be impacted by your solution. We never want to create a solution that causes more problems down the line than we started out with. We want to come out net positive on problem, or net negative. We want to have a net positive impact on the world here. And then laying out kind of in the same way that we did that, or that you have that single that single workflow line, how do those stakeholders interact with the problem now? So it could be the people who are producing things. It could be the people who are kind of producing parts of it. Say if my big car, so I have not just the car company, but I have the guy who runs at the gas station, the guy who cleans the windows, I have the guy who makes the little thing that makes sure my cup doesn't fall out of the cup holders. So many stakeholders in any solution. So really trying to understand who are all of the people that are involved in this, so that this is how they're impacted, and this is how I can make sure that not only do I solve this grander scheme problem, but I don't create negative impact on any of the people involved. Again, we're going for net positives here. And then this is just another kind of simplified version of the template before, but again, laying out how each of them are involved and really kind of boiling it down to this: who I am, what I'm trying to do, what is getting in my way, why can't I do it, why that makes it so that I can't do it. I'm trying to get to Sophie's house. I can't go but my car has no gas, because I didn't do it myself. I didn't drive to the gas station and put gas in my car, which makes me feel like I should have thought ahead about this and wish maybe a drone would come and fill my car for me. I make myself sound like the worst the most capitalist person with that example, but there we go. And then really starting to dig down, and so I have similar layout template here to the one David had, but really laying out, what do you know about the people who you're trying to solve the problem for? Because when you really understand who your customer is, about them, what they care about, what their motivations are, then again, you can make sure that you're creating a product that's going to meet all of those needs, and you're going to have that wow, that perfect moment. You're not going to be forcing your solution onto them. They're going to come to you for the solution that you've created, that you've so generously made for them to reach their goals, to get to that point B. So are there any questions about kind of what the tasks are? I'll also leave a little typed up version outline of this in the general chat for you to reference back to as well, along with all of the Miro link and the names of those templates for you. I'm going to turn off my screen real quick. So are there any questions about any of that? If you have any questions, you can throw them in the chat, or stay on afterwards. And we can chat about it more, or if you want to be brave and shout it out right now, you can as well. Any questions? Cool. All right, I'm going to take that to me. Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Hi, sorry, thank you. I just
great.
wanted to ask, so is there a specific thing then that needs to be done for next week?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now.
Okay, great.
Perfect lead in. It's like we planned that.
Great, thank you.
Cool. So for next week, and it's up to you guys how you go about working during the week. You're welcome to meet up. You're welcome to work independently, however you guys feel that your team wants to work best. I would recommend that after we get done with this chat here, to jump back into your Discord channels for a few minutes and just kind of give yourselves a to-do list, a basic plan for the week. So I want you to lay out for yourselves what needs to be done. In general, that's going to be, what is your problem? You need to establish a problem statement. I will pause now for people to write that down. Who you need to speak to, or where you can find that information. So is this information that you can find in research papers? Is it something that you're going to need to go out and talk to your peers about? Do you need to do a survey? I love surveys. So always a good thing that I like seeing. Is it something that you can use data that's already available for? And if so, where are you going to find that data? So kind of figuring out, giving yourself a roadmap, preferably a nice straight line sort of one, about where you're going to go to find the information that you need. Give yourself an outline of who's going to be responsible for what, and be honest with your teammates about this. If you're like, look, I have a crazy week this week, 500,000 exams, and I just, then tell your teammates that, so that you guys can pick up the slack for each other. Maybe somebody else will be a bit more busy next week when you have more time off. So lay out who's going to be responsible for what, who's going to bring what back in. And decide for yourselves, how are you going to track what you have accomplished? So do you want to you can put everything into your Discord chat is one option. You're able to upload documents there. You can put text and photos and links. If you would like to make yourselves a Google Drive or a Slack or any other option of the many different virtual places to store things that there are, you're also welcome to do that. Like I said, you guys can establish that among yourselves, however you feel like you work best. And then last and very importantly, you're going to get a, I'm going to send you a link for a, what's it called? A spreadsheet of availability times. So we're going to set up times for you guys to talk with your mentors throughout the month. So drop into that when most of you are free. We do understand that you guys are all super busy, so there might not be a time when everyone is available, but we will have somebody taking notes if somebody can't be there, and we'll fill you back in, and so nobody gets left behind and nobody feels left out. For next Monday, we're going to start with a quick stand up, and I will send you a simple slide that you fill out with some info about what you've done during the week, just so that everybody can see what everyone else is working on. We can have a feeling of togetherness since we are all separated, and you guys can all get to brag a little bit about what you've done during the last week. Shima, you have a question?
Yes. Thanks for that. So just following up on the people who are unable to join their teams, how are we still going to go with our original team members?
Yeah, so you have access to your team now. You were in the text channel there, and your voice channel will should be popped up too. So if you have access to the text one, you'll have access to the voice one as well. So if you guys decide to stick around, like I said, today for a few minutes after this call, after we get done here in a couple of minutes, then you can just jump into that voice channel and introduce yourself, and you guys can sort through your little to-do list here for the week. So you'll have your team. You were in your team. You found it there in the text, or in the text channel. Is that good? Did I? Okay, cool. All right. Any other questions from anyone? Everybody good? Fabulous. Okay. So oops, that's now. I'm going to close that so I can see you guys in the Discord. So perfect. If there's no other questions, then I will let you guys loose onto the Discord again. Set yourselves up a little plan of attack if you want to sit and talk about what your problem statement that you want to focus on, or if you want to start just kind of going out and looking at problems that you see, lay that out. I think before we go, Mary, everybody moves and I can't find anybody.
Yes.
Mary, there you are. Did you want to share a few words real quick about your initiative? About I covered it.
Not at this moment, if you don't mind. I'm not.
No problem. No
Sorry.
worries. No problem at all. And then I also want to say real quick before we go, and I will say it every time that we are here, that thank you so much to the French Embassy for orchestrating this whole thing. They are, I know I call them sponsors, but they've been beyond sponsors for this event. They were really the driving force behind the whole thing and orchestrating all of those universities and bringing Sophie and I in, which we're so thankful for, and being the maestros of everything for all of this happening. So again, we wouldn't have been able to do any of this without them. We were really thankful for all of their support and all of their support. I don't know. I don't have enough synonyms for support. So with all of that, I will stop rambling and let you guys jump into your Discord. I'll stay here for a little bit. If you have any questions, feel free to text me either in the Discord or right here, or to just jump back on here. And I believe that's everything. So I will be dropping the link to Miro and the names of those templates in the general chat in a moment as well. Cool. Thank you, everybody. A fabulous first workshop. Thanks, everybody, for your patience with some of the tech issues. Don't worry, there's always a few. So we've got them all sorted out now, I think. I hope. Fingers crossed. So thanks, everyone.